Hello everyone, welcome to your weekly pick a card reading. So if you're a regular follower, this pick a card reading is from Monday the 25th of September to Sunday the 1st of October. So this is dated for my regular followers. If you just stumble across this reading at any other time, just know that there's a message in it for you. It's just timeless. Now, I just wanted to give you a little update as well. I think in some of the readings I've mentioned that I'm actually doing a course at the moment, so I'm studying again. And that's actually taking up a lot more of my time than I had anticipated. So my channel will be changing, and one thing that's going to be changing is I'm going to be turning these weekly pick a card readings into monthly pick a card readings. So I'll no longer do my zodiac monthly readings, and I won't do the weekly pick a card readings. I'll do a monthly pick a card reading. I'm just finding that with all the information that is coming through with these pick a card readings, I'm just finding more and more that I'm extending it over a longer period of time. So it's not information, there's so much information in them. I'm just finding they're not really just for 1 week. They're likely to play over a lot longer period. So not only do I think the information and the timeline of the information will be more accurate, but it will also reduce my workload. And I want to make sure that my videos, I don't want to just do them to get them out. I want to do them so that they actually have meaning and purpose to you. So with all that, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your support, and let's get started. Okay, my friends, we have pole number 1, pole number 2, pole number 3, and pole number 4. For pole number 1, we have the aragonite. For pole number 2, we have the rhodonite. For pole number 3, we have the tiger's eye. And for pole number 4, we have the Dalmatian jasper. And these are in the form of an acorn. I really like these. Okay, my friends, so as usual, select a pole by pole number, pole the crystal for the pile, or just a pile that draws your attention. You might find that as your eyes go from one pole to another, there's one that you maybe linger over a little bit longer. Trust your intuition and trust when you guess. I always get that very strongly. You know, when we guess, that's just our intuition. Just allow that to come through you. Take as long as you need to, but also if it's instant and you just think, oh, pole number, go with that as well. Okay, and if you feel drawn to more than one pole, select as many poles as you feel called to. I'll see you in your reading. Hello, pole number 1. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. So we have the 7 of Swords. I don't know why I said the 7. That's interesting. We'll see what messages come through. We have the 5 of Swords. I'm sorry, pole number 1. We have the Emperor, and we have the 4 of Swords. A lot of you are in your minds, my friends, burdened by circumstances, and new ideas, golden pathways are additional messages. And the overall energy is imagination and rebirth. Okay, pole number 1. Okay, so Spirit is guiding me to the Tarot first, so that's where we're going to start. Pole number 1. You've got the 5 of Swords, the Emperor, and the 4 of Swords. And I'm really getting the message of really being in your mind this week. Now, Spirit saying, it's almost like I'm getting that's not the problem. Like, it's not, you know, we're often told that we're too in our head and our minds are too active, and you know, we need to sort of stop our thoughts and things like that. And Spirit's giving me this message this week for you, pole number 1, that it's not the thoughts themselves. It's the way that you kind of, I was going to say manifest your thoughts, but I'm waiting for more information from Spirit because I think it's not exactly right. Spirit's calling me to this imagination card. And Spirit wants me to come back to the overall energy. So, but because I was going to pick up the card and say, actually, let's start here, but Spirit's saying no. They really want me to start with the Tarot for some reason, and we'll probably figure that out down the track. But the word imagination is important. So this 5 of Swords is really a card of picking your battles. It's really a card of are you trying to share your point of view, or are you trying to impose your point of view onto others? There's a sense as well, because the Swords are our mind, it's almost like pole number 1, there's almost a battle here between your logic and your imagination. There's almost a sense here of you know, Spirit saying this could show up with other, okay, sorry, I'm sorry, pole number 1. The messages are coming through really slowly, and I think it's so that I actually give this message to you properly. And I think what I'm trying to do is the gaps I'm normally Spirit feeds me information so quickly, like it literally just pours out, and here it's coming through in dribs and drabs, and I'm feeling like I'm filling it with my own mind, like I'm filling the gap. So Spirit's drawn me back. So in a sense, Spirit's saying don't, like I was almost tempted to stop the video and start again, and Spirit said no, don't. There's something in that beginning part that will resonate with some of you, and I'm not sure if it's the delivery of it, the kind of a bit this and a bit that and a bit of confusion that is going to resonate with you. I'm not quite sure. I guess it'll be different for all of you. But the messages that Spirit is bringing me to is one of, yes, there'll be a sense of you and others in this week where you are maybe trying to put your point of view onto others, or you're trying to be right. And if that happens, Spirit is telling me that it's not anything to do with you wanting to be right or impose your thing. Spirit, it's not to make you feel bad about that. It's not to make you realize that even. It's a trigger to make you look at your opinions. So the reactions of others might have you going, gosh, I wasn't expecting them to be so against my point of view or my vision or whatever it is. And it's actually not to make you doubt yourself, but there's a sense here of looking over what you're doing. There are some parts that are just not for you, or there are some parts that you've picked up from others and they're actually not your point of view. So that brings you back to you. And there's a sense here that you might think that, I'm so opinionated, or I like ram information at people and expect them to come to my way of thinking. What this is going to do is actually make you realize that the reason why you're pushing the information onto others, or you could be, or you might be a bit insistent on being right. Pole number 1 is actually to show you where possibly you might not believe in that opinion or that value or that whatever it is you're trying to make others understand. So it's not about the others, it's about you. Now, Spirit did call me to just use the word imagination, to come back to this card, but to just use the word imagination with this 5 of Swords. And there's a sense here of eventually what Spirit's guiding you towards, pole number 1, is eventually getting a balance between your logic and your imagination. But what Spirit almost wants you to do this week is to get lost in your imagination. So almost like, the pendulum is swinging towards logic for you at the moment. Let it go and allow it to swing to the other side, where you're going to indulge in the imaginary more than what you probably would, and more than what I don't like to use the word should, but Spirit's saying in this instance it's okay. So more than you probably should as well. Now, the reason why Spirit is showing me that pendulum is sometimes in order, when we're out of balance in one area, in order to let go of that balance, we almost need to swing to the other side. And then we let go of that, and then we can find a balance in between. But there's almost a sense of getting lost in your imagination and being aware of the triggers that are around you in regards to your opinions, your values, the information you're trying to give others that they're rejecting. There's so much information in that pole number 1 for you. And it all comes back to you. It's not a reflection of them. So I'm being really told this reading is just about you, pole number 1. It's not got, sometimes the readings will have that you're not aligned with the people that are around you, and that's what you need to look at. This is not that. The people around you are actually mirroring you. So they're actually in the way that they challenge your point of view, or the way that they dismiss your point of view, will actually, if you can then go into, let go of the logic and go into this kind of like meditation even, because we've got the 4 of Swords here, but this kind of daydreaming state, I think there's going to be so much that opens up for you. There's going to be so much clarity here that's gained, because your next card is the Emperor, pole number 1, and this is coming into a realization of who you are. The Emperor is empowered, and it's not an empowerment where you have power over others. It's empowerment where you know yourself, you know your values, you know your ideals, you have your beliefs, and you don't need anybody to agree with them. And they have meaning for you. They're not just other people's values or opinions. They're not your community's values or opinions. I mean, they might be, but they're yours. They have real sense, meaning, and purpose to you. And this Emperor, I feel that he's in your reading for exactly that. It's just you coming to an understanding about you. And I feel that with this 5 of Swords here, you're coming into the realization of you're holding on to values and beliefs that actually maybe were your family's, or the values and beliefs that we think make up a good person, but they're actually not yours. There are so many values and beliefs out there, pole number 1, that literally you can, we all have different ones. Some are the same, some are different, and the combination of them make who we are. But there's a sense here of really coming into alignment with who you are, and getting to know who you are, having an understanding of who you are. And I feel that really puts you in a place of balance. Now, the 4 of Swords is not really a card of balance. It's more a card of taking time out and relaxing and meditation, contemplation. But for you, I feel like that's when the pendulum balances. Okay? Because I find that 5s is, it's an odd number. So it's not balanced, whereas your 4 is a very even number. And look at this, the Emperor is the 4 as well. So there's a sense of coming really into balance, really into, the 4s in numerology are all about stability. They're your foundation. And I feel like from there, you're building a really good foundation. This 4 of Swords, I'm really feeling puts you in a different space. It puts you in a different mindset. The swords are your mind, your intellect, your intuition. It can be, your imagination. It's also our ideas. It's about truth. It's about alignment. It's about clarity. And I feel that this 5 of Swords and your interactions with others ultimately lead you to your clarity, your space, where you can hold space for your ideas, your values, even when you go out into the world. I feel that the 4 of Swords is that place of you getting really concrete in that, like that your values and beliefs becoming a real core part of you. And so therefore there is an aspect of needing some time out. There is an aspect of maybe just drawing back from the world a little bit, so you've got time to make all those new ideas, to make all those to make the way that you see yourself now, to really integrate that into yourself, make that a part of you. Now Spirit's bringing me to the imagination card, and Spirit's just drawn me to look at, you've got a 2 here and you've got a 4 and a 2 here, which makes a 6. Apart from this 5, All the other numbers are even numbers. There's that sense of balance. There's that sense of stability and groundedness in you. And that 5, it's not a pleasant place to be. It's not the easiest, thank you Spirit, it's not the easiest place to be, but it brings you so much information that your life then becomes better balanced. You become better aligned, and therefore you feel better in balance. You know, you're more in balance with yourself. You're more integrated, is a word Spirit is giving me. A centered, it's just that more grounded feeling. Your imagination is going to play a part in this. And I find that really fascinating, because our imagination, sometimes I feel our imagination can pull us out of our groundedness, because the very nature of imagination is very sort of higher upper chakra, isn't it? It's visualizing what is actually not there yet. So it's not tangible yet. Only in your mind, in your heart, is it something that you can see and feel. And this imagination, it's your first overall energy, and it's really important. And I don't know if it's going to focus very well, but this lady is actually painting her future. She's painting, thank you Spirit, more accurately Spirit said, is she's painting her imagination. So she's bringing what was in her mind into reality. And there's a sense, pole number 1, that I feel that Spirit is saying to you, don't feel that getting lost in a daydream or getting lost in your imagination is a waste of time, or it's just something kids do, or it's just a way to avoid reality. It's actually really important, because it's our imagination that enables us to create ideas. Because what is an idea? An idea is something that is, it's a concept, isn't it? Thank you Spirit, that's a great word. It's a concept. It's not concrete. And that's what our imagination is. There's a sense here that, pole number 1, the feeling that I'm getting is that you find yourself drifting off into these daydreams, and you bring yourself back as if to, and kind of abruptly, and kind of saying to yourself, oh my gosh, don't be ridiculous. You've got so much on your plate. What are you doing wasting time? You should be doing stuff. And I feel there's a sense here that, because Spirit is drawing you to this daydreaming time, so you are just going to be in that space where you'll just find yourself going into a daydream. It's not like you have to sit there, pole number 1, and go, right, I'm going to try and daydream now. It'll just happen. You'll find your gaze drifting out the window, and before you know it, you're in a daydream. Allow it. If you could feel Spirit's energy and Spirit's encouragement in those daydreams, you wouldn't get annoyed at yourself for doing it. You just enjoy it, is also what I'm getting from Spirit. Enjoy those moments of daydreaming. And yes, our lives are busy, but for you, pole number 1, this is so important. This is, now you might feel that the daydreams are just like evasion, like so that you can disappear into something more pleasant. And in a sense, daydreams are that, but they put our energy in a better place if we're not feeling well. So when we're energetically low, or when our vibration is heavy, we can disappear into a daydream of something beautiful or whatever inspires us or whatever makes us feel happy or calm. We elevate our vibration, and we can almost gain perspective on that emotion that brought our energy down, or even if it's a health issue, you know, it can really help to elevate that vibration, elevate us out of that lower, denser energy. And it's very healing. You know, we underestimate how our mind can heal. And tap into that pole number 1, because we can't manifest if we can't imagine. Manifesting is bringing something that wasn't there before there. You know, manifesting is bringing things into your life or changing your life. And it starts with imagination. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit just said to me, pole number 1, trust that your imagination is being guided as well. It's not just this whimsical make-believe silliness. Trust that it's being guided. And Spirit wants me to stop there. So Spirit wants me to end it on, trust, pole number 1, that your imagination is being guided. Now your other overall energy is rebirth. And you know, with the messages of this reading, pole number 1, it's so befitting. You know, coming into alignment. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit's wanting me to just rewind a little bit. Understanding our values and beliefs. Coming to realize our own values and beliefs. Not the ones that society puts on us, but the ones that have real meaning to us. They guide us to who we are. And for you, pole number 1, that creates this magnificent rebirth. There is a liberty. There is, thank you, Spirit, there is a liberation in finding yourself, because finding yourself leads to finding your voice, finding your space, finding your calling. And when I say those things, I mean in this journey. We are always doing that. You know, pole number 1, this is in the now. This is who you are now. This journey, this rebirth is leading you on a new journey. This journey will lead to another journey where you uncover more truths about yourself, because we're always evolving, growing and opening. And the more we open, the more we discover. The more we discover, the more we align with our core values and our beliefs. So they change over the time. It's so true, the saying, the only constant in the universe is change. It is so true. And the more we embrace change, the more we allow change, the more the rebirth is so fulfilling, so opening. Pole number 1, it's hard to put into words how magnificent this journey is. It's not going to be the easiest of journeys. But if you can allow it, you've got this strong energy with the Emperor. You've got this calm energy, centered energy with this 4 of Swords. You've got the challenges with the 5 of Swords. But you've got imagination and rebirth. This leads to amazing things, pole number 1. And do you know, our outer world reflects our inner world. And that's sometimes difficult to digest, difficult to accept. But when we realize that, it's not to then look at ourselves and go, oh my gosh, my life is a mess. I must be a mess. I must be no good. It's not to judge ourselves like that. It's to give us strength, courage, this wisdom to know that, okay, if my outer world reflects my inner world, if I change my inner world, my outer world would change. Now, Spirit's saying to me, explain that when we try to change our outer world, there are so many things that we do not have control over. I can't control the next person. I can't control the weather. So I'm always up against something that I have no control over. And therefore, when we try to change our exterior world, we become more controlling. We become more pushy because we're trying to mold the outside world. And there are so many factors there because we try to take control, which means we try to control others. We try to mold everything to fit us, to suit our agenda. And that is when we're not in alignment. We actually come out of our flow. When we realize that our outside world is a reflection of our inside world, initially it's quite jarring. But if we can not judge ourselves, if we can go, okay, and look at what that means, it means that all I need to do is look at me. I can change what I do. That doesn't impact anybody else's free will. It's my free will to be who I want to be who I really am. And therefore, that is doable. So it brings great encouragement because it brings a sense of, I can do this. This is within my capabilities. And then it breathes, it nurtures, thank you Spirit, it nurtures this acceptance in us, because it's like whatever the outside world does, I'm concentrating on me. That's not to say that in an egotistical way that I don't care about others. No, but it's to say, if I'm living the best version of me, doesn't that make everybody around me, like that makes me a more pleasant, open, loving, compassionate person to be around, doesn't it? So that kind of helps everybody else, doesn't it? That's a realization, I think, that you're coming to, pole number 1. I think that's what this rebirth is just understanding that. And with the additional messages, we've got, if I can get it to focus, we've got burdened by circumstances. And the affirmation is, I heal with courage and stand up to injustice. Now, burdened by circumstances, I feel that's how you feel. Pole number 1, I feel that the burdens of the world, you feel them quite heavy on your shoulders. And I feel that I love part of this affirmation. I heal with courage. Because I feel that that's what you're doing. You're coming into your own. You're stepping into the power of this Emperor. And I feel you do heal with courage, because it takes courage to go, right, I can change my life. I don't need to change the outside world. I change me. And I'm going to look at me. And I'm going to reimagine what is me, not the layers and the expectations that I've put on myself, and that I think and that the community puts on me, the outer world puts on me. I'm actually going to imagine what my authentic self is like. What is my soul like? Without the conditioning, the experiences, the emotional baggage, the trauma. And the sense here of stand up to injustice, that's not a push in the outside world. It's you stand. Thank you, Spirit. Spirit just said to me, let me help you. And Spirit just said, not only did Spirit say that to help me, but to help you, pole number one. Spirit saying, let me help you. Because the thing is with this stand up to injustice, it's not the outside world injustices. It's the layers that you've taken on. Those values that you've taken on. The images that you've taken on, the burdens that experiences have put on you, that you've held on to. You're standing up to them. It's almost like the injustice is the masks that we wear. It's an injustice to our authentic self. So in standing up to the injustice, you're standing up to those masks. You're standing up to those walls that you've built, and you're allowing them to crumble, and that takes courage. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. I feel like there's so many burdens. Like it's like this phoenix rising. It's like all your burdens get burnt in the ashes. All those masks, the way you think you need to be in order to fit in, or the way you need to be in order to be who people expect you to be. It's just, I just feel like it's just not only falling away, but it's just disintegrating. And we finish your message, pole number one, with new ideas, golden pathways. And it says, I am a creator. Creation flows through me. And this encompasses the rebirth. Okay, so that they're together. A rebirth is that. A rebirth is being, it's not creating a new you, it's releasing the real you. And in that space, new ideas come. This imagination will flourish. Your imagination will flourish. New ideas will come, and paths will open. And what you thought would be rejected is not rejected at all. And it's not that others were rejecting you, pole number one, it's that you were rejecting aspects of yourself. And when we reject aspects of ourselves, of course others are going to reject that, because they mirror us. And you are heading towards great creation. I am a creator. Creation flows through me. Wow, pole number one, if you've stuck with me, thank you very much. That was a challenging message to deliver, because I think there was so many ways it could have been interpreted differently, and I think Spirit was really adamant that it be empowering, not demoralizing is the word that they're giving me. It's you're going to be empowered by this experience. You're going to feel so much, you're going to feel so encouraged to walk your path and to be you. Quite an amazing reading, pole number 1. I'm going to leave you with those messages, my friends. Love, light and blessings. Take good care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 2. Welcome, my friends. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. So we have the 10 of Swords, the Star, and the Lovers. Oh, wow. Oh, I like this, pole number 2. We have pollinating abundance, and we have success and gain through hard work. We have choice as your overall energy and birth as your other overall energy. Wow, look at these cards. Choice and birth. 5 and 1. 5 is all about change. 5 is about making those choices that lead to those big changes. 5 is about surprises. And 5 can be challenging. Challenges. And then you've got 1 and birth. And 1 is all about new beginnings. It's all about a fresh start. And I had to pause because I just got this wave of energy. And I feel, pole number 2, you're kind of going, please let that be true. Because I feel you're so ready for this on so many different levels, pole number 2. You're ready to emerge. And you know, I know it sounds a bit weird. This is like I always see this as a forest, but you know what? I see this as like a womb, and there's different, like if there were different birth canals, you know, but it's almost like you've been held in this cocoon, and now you've got the choice of, where do I go? It's almost like, I know this sounds a little bit out there, pole number 2, but the messages that I'm getting is you get to choose what world you come out in. Our Spirit just said to me, tell them to take that as it resonates. What does that mean to you? But when Spirit says, you know, it's like, what world do you want to come out in? That's big change. That's huge. That's changing your life in a pretty big way. And it's almost like as you come out, because this almost looks like, you know, she's undercover, underground. As you go through, you come up. Spirit's telling me, pole number 2, choose. Let's look at the card choose. Choose. Choice. The card is choice, but Spirit is saying just choose. Not choosing is a choice. And I feel, pole number 2, for a little while, you've not been choosing. And Spirit's telling me it doesn't matter which direction your choice takes you in. It doesn't matter what thing you choose. There'll be an ending and there'll be a birth. And when I say that, sorry, Spirit's just drawn to my attention how you might take that. Nobody's dying, and this is not death and birth as in somebody leaving and somebody coming into our world. No, this is about you, pole number 2, okay? Thank you, Spirit. I wouldn't have noticed that. I don't want to leave you with those thoughts. Thank you, Spirit. It doesn't matter what you choose. The path is yours. And I think that's something that we forget. And even I think sometimes, you know, I do that. I say that to people. You know, make sure you make the right choice. You know, really look within you and make the choice that's aligned with you. Spirit's actually saying, pole number 2. Gosh, that's such an interesting message, Spirit. We're always in alignment. Our alignment sometimes leads us to challenges. Sometimes our alignment leads us to abundance. Sometimes it leads us to increased wisdom, increased knowledge, increased compassion. Whatever it leads us to, it always leads to something. And that something always means there's change and growth. Making the wrong choice is not the issue. Standing still is the issue, pole number 2. In your reading, there's movement. Now, the movement doesn't have to be physically. Sometimes all we need to do is go, yes, it's time. I'm going to open up to the possibility of this, or I'm going to, it's just a change in our mindset. Spirit's just given me an example. If for instance, if some of you are looking for a new job, you might be looking in a specific field or in a specific city or town or where you live. Broaden that. Increase your choices. Something's going to jump out. And trust that the thing that leaps out at you the thing that kind of draws your attention the most. And Spirit just said to me, for some of you, you might think that's crazy. I feel like there's something in there for you. Regardless of what you choose, pole number 2, you'll be brought to a place of newness. So Spirit just said to me, go back to that example. So you're looking for a job and you're drawn to look, okay, I'm going to broaden my horizons, and you see something that jumps out at you and you just think, oh my gosh, I can't. And so you choose a job that's local. Spirit's saying we're always in alignment, because in that job in 6 months' time, they might say to you, do you know what? We've got this offer, you know, we've got this opportunity for you where you can relocate. And bam, you're in that, you're going to that place. Or, you know, your Spirit will realign you. But sometimes we need to take those steps forward so the universe can realign us. So trust that it doesn't, Spirit's really being so insistent that it doesn't matter what you choose, just take a step forward. and just keep taking those steps forwards. And sometimes we're in a space, because our timelines are different. Where we are at is different. So sometimes we can take that direct leap, and you just kind of go, oh my God, that jumped out at me, I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to worry about the hows, or oh my gosh, I'll scare myself, I'm just going to do it. And you leap in before you can freak yourself out. I'm sure we've all been there, haven't we, pole number 2? Now, sometimes we're not there. Like sometimes, you know, we're all different, our experiences are different, and maybe in this particular journey, it's not that one leap that you can take. So take a smaller one, but Spirit is still saying take a step. Because this birth, Spirit just said to me, it's inevitable. It's part of your journey. It's part of growth. It's part of coming to see and know who we are. And that means rebirthing, you know, time and time again. And it's peeling, you know, a baby is so innocent. It just is what it is. It's not been conditioned yet. You know, it doesn't know how to act in society. It doesn't know the right things to say. It doesn't conform with the outside world. It has its agendas. It has, you know, a baby has a very strong need to survive, and that overrules everything. And it just doesn't know how to be anything else than itself. And there's a point that, yes, we learn and grow, and that's part of what being a human being is. But as we grow and gather more information from our outside world, we've never been taught that take that information and how does it sit with us. We just take it on board as part of ourselves. You know, we're not shown that experiences don't make us who we are. They guide us to understand who we are. They don't make us. We don't take them. We shouldn't take them on board and make them part of ourselves. They're not us. They're just things that happen to us. Other people's reaction to us. It's got nothing to do about us. It's about them. We mirror each other. And all this misunderstanding when we are growing up and learning and becoming more familiar with our outside world causes us to have conditioning. Some people call it, sometimes I call it programming. And there are all layers that get put on us. And then we come to, you know, our first awakening is realizing I'm removing some of these layers, and every journey then is removing more and more. And that's why with Oracle and Tarot, look at this. You look how much nakedness you've got. And the nakedness is a symbol of that peeling back the layers and being authentic. You know, it's nothing to do with nudity. It just shows that we're coming into alignment. We're being authentic. And that's really beautiful, pole number 2. And it's not an easy thing to do, but the more we do it, the more we feel free to be ourselves in all situations, to be authentic, to speak our truth without hurting others. But we find that we have a voice and we're allowed to express ourselves. We're allowed to hold space in our world. And I've been getting this message a bit in my readings, pole number 2. So I don't know if you've stumbled across this message in the past, but I have been getting it quite a bit in the last, say, month or so. And that's really beautiful. And look how barren this is, and look how abundant this is. And with that, Spirit's drawing me to additional messages, and you've got pollinating abundance. I am grateful for my bounty. And this is, you know, actually Spirit just drew me. Look at her shape, and look at the shape here. Pollinating abundance. I just feel like Spirit just said with that, it really, really doesn't matter what you choose, pole number 2. And I hope that liberates you in a sense. I hope that makes you less afraid. I hope that gives you wings. Because you're moving forward to greater abundance, because you're moving forward in alignment. You're allowing things to change. You're allowing your authentic self to move into the world, to be in the world. When we're not aware, when we're not aligned, the whole thing of not being aligned is feeling that we can't be authentic in the world. We can't be our true self in the world. And when we come to a place where we start to be, and we feel more and more than that we can be, there's liberation in that, but there's also abundance in that. Because like I say so often, it's shine your inner light, shine your authenticity out into the world, because that's the beacon that draws the abundance of life and the right people to you. There still be challenges, but life somehow becomes simpler. It becomes less dramatic and less drama filled. Still challenges, but we don't hold on to them. We don't see them like we used to, and therefore there is more ease that we step into. Spirit's giving me the word grace. Grace and ease become part of our everyday life. And the other overall energy is success and gain through hard work. I thrive in all aspects of life. And I'm feeling here with the different animals, it doesn't matter who you're dealing with, it doesn't matter what aspect of your life, there is this general feeling of success, thriving, and feeling like you're in the right place at the right time. That's alignment. And it's been hard work, pole number 2. It's not an easy journey to come into alignment. It's not easy at all. And you're really succeeding, not only in the outer world, but when I mean succeeding, Spirit's saying it's not really how we apply it in our reality. You know, success, it's not the general term for success. It's success on a very personal level. You might feel so successful, and somebody might look at you and think, oh my gosh, how can you feel successful? You've got nothing. It's this success, inner success. Now, Spirit, if you'll so indulge me, pole number 2, has just asked me if I'll share. trying to think of where to start. And when we look back on our journey, it's a little bit like that, isn't it, pole number 2? But there's this sense that I feel successful. I feel probably more held is probably the word, more guided than I ever have. Yet I have less money. I have less friends or acquaintances. You know, I'm not in a relationship. You know, for those of you that know, I house sit, so I have no fixed address. You know, I don't have a home. So the outside world could look at me and think, that's not success. Yet, for me, I'm doing what I love. I'm finding my place, and I haven't found that yet. So these house sits, the different ones that I pick, I feel every time bring me closer. The friends that I now have are so close. Yes, the relationships are so much more meaningful. And I've succeeded in peeling off so many layers. And I'm feeling that I feel I am allowed to take up space in the world. I am allowed to have a voice. And pole number 2, your experiences will be completely different from mine. But I think Spirit asked me to share that in order for you to see that inner success that you're going to feel, that inner, even though you might look at the outside world and think, I'm not successful at all, there's going to be this inner joy, this inner radiance, this inner light that it does make you feel successful. It does make you feel happy, centered. Spirit's telling me that, which is really beautiful, pole number 2, that you've already tapped into this energy a little bit. And Spirit said to me, because sometimes I say to Spirit, oh, why do you want me to share that? Because it's not that I feel uncomfortable in sharing that, not at all, but it's more like I don't want to put my experience onto other people and that's what they'll experience, not at all. And Spirit said to me, pole number 2, you already feel the essence of what I'm talking about. With this 10 of Swords, things have already started to fall away. Things have already started. There's been endings. You know, things have already started to change. And at the same time that you're probably feeling overwhelmed and a little bit like, oh, excuse me, pole number 2, a little bit like, oh my gosh, I just need to just settle. I need to just land on solid ground. There's also this energy in you that is kind of, this energy that you're tapping into where there's a certain sense of peace. There's a certain sense of magic that doesn't make sense for what's been going on around you. For some of you, that could be that, gosh, you've had so many challenges, yet there's this inner happiness in you that you can't explain. Or there's this inner calm or peace in you that you can't explain. There might be this drive in you that doesn't go away. It's an energy, pole number 2, so it's really hard to explain. But Spirit's saying, you're probably sitting there nodding, going, oh, I know what you mean, and I can't explain it either. And this 10 of Swords, you know, these life events, you know, they've taken a bit of a toll. For some of you, maybe on your health, but a lot of you, it's probably been more about the way that you think of yourself or that you feel about yourself. And that was only, again, to draw your attention to peel back those layers. You're starting afresh. I'm really getting this sense of freshness and vibrancy. You know, Spirit's just shown me an image of somebody putting a peppermint in their mouth, and suddenly their taste buds are singing, and then their nose becomes unblocked, and there's a freshness that comes to them, not only physically but mentally. And I feel this freshness around you. And I think some of you are actually, because I feel this draw, this pull that you feel. And for some of you, it's stronger than others. But that pull, I just feel like there's this, like I said, for some of you, you're quite excited, like I just want to get to the next stage. So there is a sense here that Spirit's kind of saying, don't spread your energy too thin. Don't allow your energy to seep out. Hold on to that energy so that it fuels you. For others of you, that energy, that excitement is very gentle, and it kind of just simmers there, but it's still quite deep inside of you. And Spirit's saying, allow that to bubble up, even if you don't understand it, even if you're thinking, I don't even know what I'm excited about. I've got nothing to be excited about. You've got a universe to be excited about. You've got the Star and the Lovers. The Star is always a card of great healing, major arcana, so it's how Spirit, the universe, co-creates with us, the part that Spirit plays on our journey. And the Star is real healing, deep, deep healing. You know, it's that healing that water is for the land. It makes everything lush and green and alive and vibrant and healthy. And there's this sense of the water waters the land, and then the land, and then it runs back into the water. A healthy land creates a healthy environment. So it's like, I'm just getting this sense in your reading, pole number 2, there's this sense of win-win. And you're going to shine, because the Star is a little bit like being in the limelight, you know, like a movie star, the stars. And so there is a sense here of being seen. And I'm not saying you're all going to become famous, but there's a sense here of no longer wanting to be a wallflower, coming out of this period of where you stepped back from things. Now you're going to actually come out into the world, you know. And I'm kind of feeling like here comes to the Star, and you come up, and I feel like you come up through the water, and I feel that this is you. This is you coming up, and this is you up and out. Gosh, look at that. You know, like if we just choose. Pole number 2, that is your I think that's why the choice card was your first overall energy. It's choose, because that choose leads you to a birth, leads you to birth a new life for yourself. For some of you, it can just be you, like birthing you, your new ideas, this can be literally birthing a new world for yourself, moving to a different country or a different place, or having a complete different job, or whatever it is for you. And it puts you in a place where your authenticity shines. You shine. You, not in an act, not in a unaligned kind of way, but in a way that really is true to your heart and true to who you are right now. Spirit just said to me, you're also following your star. It's like you're following your north. And Spirit's saying, you are being guided. Do not be afraid, pole number 2. Or, thank you. It's not fair to say don't be afraid, because it means we feel that we shouldn't be afraid. But no, you will be afraid. Of course we're going to be afraid when we have such big changes on the card, or when we've got big decisions to make. But take those steps and trust that you're being guided, because you really are. And we end your reading, pole number 2, with the Lovers. You're being guided to what you love, to a life that you love, whatever that means for you. Your guardian angel is bringing you into alignment with who you are and into alignment with other people. You being aligned draws other people that are, they might not be similar to you. Spirit's just said to me, don't think of alignment as being similar. Other people that are aligned with you will be similar to you. They could be completely opposite, but they'll match your vibration. So they won't bring you down. They'll help you grow your dreams. They'll help you move in the direction of the journey of your soul. They'll teach you new things as well. But this guardian angel, you're being guided, and the sun behind it, there's a lot of happiness here. There's a lot of security. And you just move towards what you love. And for some of you, this is kind of like you're being guided to like a dream come true. For others of you, you couldn't, in like the stage here where you're trying to make a choice, you couldn't even imagine this. But there is a journey in the process, and that takes stages, and that takes courage. I'm going to leave you with those messages, pole number 2. Love, light and blessings, my friends. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 3. Welcome, my friends. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. We have the 9 of Swords, the Ace of Wands, and the 7 of Pentacles. We have Courage makes the heart bloom. Love that. Oh, you've got 3. Sneaky Spirit. I always double check them as well. So you've got 3. Okay. Then we've got what is brewed will boil. And hidden with that message is a chance of treasure prepared to dive. So we're going to read those 2 together. We've got transformation, and we've got awaken. Wow, pole number 3. Okay. So Spirit's drawing me to the additional messages. Will come back to the overall energy, but transformation and awaken. Gosh. So we've got courage. And the card says, courage makes the heart bloom. And it says, my brave and noble heart illuminates my being. I love her sun crown. It's very interesting because if this card was like a tarot card, it's so interesting because I say it would be the Queen of Wands, the Sun card, and the Strength card all rolled into one. There is this powerfulness with this card. There is strength in it, and gusto, and passion. Thank you, Spirit. I was looking for that word. And there's clarity. Pole number 3, I feel that you're probably not feeling this energy at the moment. And for some of you, Spirit saying this energy is within you. For all of you, this energy is within you. And you just need to tap into it. For some of you, this is coming. You know, we always have this energy within us. But sometimes we've got so many layers, or we're just so disconnected with ourselves that we can't tap into it. And that's fine. We've all got different journeys. Bear in mind, pole number 3, this is an awakening. This is massive. So where you are probably now is probably very much this 9 of Swords. This, I don't know what's going on with me. And I'm getting this sense of, am I losing my mind? And awakenings, I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at you, pole number 3, but awakenings can make us feel that. We feel like, what the hell is going on? And it's almost like nothing makes us happy anymore. We don't understand ourselves anymore, what we're trying to do. Nothing makes sense. And we certainly don't feel vibrant or passionate or courageous or guided. But Spirit gave me this very quiet little but. It's in you. And you might not know what that is yet. You might not have tapped into any aspect of it yet. But there's that magnetic pull. And you probably can't explain it, pole number 3. But if you really stop and think about it, you'll go, well, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm feeling different. I'm thinking different. I'm acting different. I want things to be different. And if you look that little bit deeper, you'll go, do you know, I am being guided to change things. I am being guided to shake things up. And then you think to yourself, what am I doing? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? Why am I shaking up my comfortable little life? Because our authenticity needs to shine. Our soul needs to guide and lead. Our soul is waking you to bring you on the journey that it came here to do. Now, Spirit wants me to say straight off that transformation and awakening, we do that all our life. And sometimes we wouldn't say, oh, I've just been through a massive transformation, or I've just been through an awakening, because we think, oh, it's not that big. This one is going to be that big, pole number 3. And Spirit doesn't want you to think that this is the first time you've transformed or the first time you've awakened. Spirit doesn't want you to think that at all. Interestingly enough, Spirit's actually asking me to come down to the overall energies. And we've got transform. Now, sometimes we don't feel this transformation until we're the butterfly coming out of the cocoon, and then we think, oh my gosh, what the hell is happening? But this transformation, Spirit's telling me, has been going on since last year, at least. And for some of you, longer than that. Some of you, it could be 3 to 6 years. So we're working a 7 numerology year this year. So the 6 was last year, 2022. Depending on when you're watching this. Thank you, Spirit, for reminding me. If you've just stumbled across this reading and you're watching it in 2024 or whenever, go back to 2022 or 3 to 6 years from where you are. It'll be different for all of you. That's when your transformation started. So you've been on this transformation for a long time. And you're now at the stage where you've actually transformed already. You're already the butterfly. And there's a sense here of, I feel different. I want to be different. I don't know how to do that in the world. It's almost like every time you come out, you revert back to how you used to do things, or what you used to say, or you find yourself talking to people and then you'll go back, you'll walk away, or you'll go, when you're home or in a quiet moment, you'll go, why did I say that to them? I don't believe that anymore. And there's this sense that you've got like one foot kind of in the past and one in the present, one foot that's sort of prior to your transformation and the other foot that is now the butterfly. So you've got like one foot in the caterpillar and one foot in the butterfly. And that creates a lot of disturbance, that creates a lot of strain and stress. And Spirit's saying, be patient with yourself. It takes time. We don't just awaken and go, right, this is me, poof, out into the world. No, thank you, Spirit, that's a brilliant word. It takes integration. We change so fundamentally when we awaken in these transformative journeys. And it takes time to integrate who we are now into the outside world. And Spirit's asking me to explain that, because you haven't changed and you've not made up this new person that then you have to remember how to play that role. It's the opposite. You've actually dropped the script. You're no longer the character in that play. You're being your authentic self. You've peeled back those layers, and now you're this you're your authentic self, and what that authentic self is in the now. And when we go out into the world as our authentic self, there's a lot of vulnerability there. There's a lot of fear of being rejected. When we wear our masks, and this is why it's so easy to put on masks, when we wear our masks, people don't like us. We change our mask. You know, if we meet people and we're too exuberant, we're too flamboyant, we'll tone that down next time round we're with them. You know, we turn the dial on what we feel is expected. You know, around some people we might swear, around other people we might not. And I'm not saying that if you like to swear, you're going to go and swear in front of anybody or anywhere. It's not that. It's just that it's not like you wouldn't swear in front of like children or things like that. That could be a bit, you know, much. Or you wouldn't swear at work because people could feel offended. But around your friends, you can be you. But it's that toning the dial around the people that you can be you in front of. Spirit said I haven't done that very well, but I'm hoping that you understand. It's not being you to make people uncomfortable. It's just being you, but that embraces and brings compassion. And, you know, I'm going to stop there because I'm just going to get myself into I'm trying to explain this now with my own mind. Spirit said they understand, but I feel like I need to explain it, so I'm going to stop there, pile number 3. So this transformation is going to take time, and it's going to be trial and error. And you will walk away sometimes going, I was not authentic there at all. And the more you do that, the more you're going to see that. And there's a sense here of Spirit saying, that's how every time you'll get better at it. That's how you grow. That's how you remember. It'll be like, why, when I'm with this person, do I always go back to how I was before? Is it me? Is it them? What if I was myself? Do I feel that they'll reject me? So the transformation and the bringing that out into the world is actually what enables us, or it's actually what creates our outside world to change. Relationships might deepen, relationships might break apart. And that's how our inner transformation transforms our outer world. Thank you, Spirit. I think that's really good. That's made really good sense. And then we've got this awaken. And I love the number on this. You've got a 1 and an 8, which becomes a 9, which in numerology is the completion of a cycle. It's the end of a cycle, the end of a journey. The 1 is a beginning, and the 8 is our power number. The 8 is about the self. And when we come into ourself, we transform our life. So things end and things begin. Things change. I feel with this card, you feel so different. It's almost like you're waking up and, you know, you're waking up and it's like your world is completely different. It's not completely different, not yet. But It's changing. But you feel so different that you look at everything differently. Your views on what's in your life now is different. Your perspective is different. And it makes everything seem different. Your job will be different because you're different. Your relationships will be different because you're different. Your life will be different because you're different. And I'm feeling like this is huge because I'm feeling like, look at all the blues and purples, and this is sort of more your yellows and oranges. You know, it's a complete different spectrum of colour, the cool colours and the warm colours. And there's this sense that even if you try to hide the way you've changed, even in those moments where you think, oh, I just went straight back to my old self there, you didn't. Not completely. And if you said things, people won't buy it because it just doesn't resonate with your energy. People might challenge you more because people will sense that you're just saying that. And in that challenge, you're going to feel yourself kind of, it's almost like you're going to feel a little bit unstable. You're going to feel a little bit thrown off. But the challenge is there not because these people just are opinionated or whatever. They're challenging you because they see something out of alignment. Not that they could say that to you because they probably wouldn't know themselves. But they're just not buying what you say because you're no longer aligned with that. So it feels like something that you're just saying. And that the way they challenge you is the way you're kind of going to go, oh, and you will find yourself backtracking. And that's how we learn. And eventually you just don't say those things that you don't mean anymore. And let's have a look at these two cards. That it's this, a chance of treasure, prepare to dive, that's snuck in. So we've got what is brewed will boil. And I'm not sure if you can, if that is focusing. I'm not sure why when I put things here it doesn't focus, and when I put things here it kind of focuses better. As you can probably tell, my beautiful pile number 3, I'm not very good with technical stuff. So we've got what is brewed will boil, and the affirmation is I have faith in myself and trust my decisions. And then this energy that's snuck in is a chance of treasure, prepare to dive. The deeper I go, the more I see and the more I know. Don't be surprised if things come to a head. Don't be surprised with the way you might be challenged. It's asking you to look deeper. It's what I was saying here with this awakened card. People are just going to be like, what do you mean? They'll ask you to explain yourself. They'll ask you to, and not that we ever need to explain ourselves, but it's to allow you to, one, see what you're saying and dive deep into, does that resonate with me? You might actually go, oh, yeah, I don't know why I said that actually. Do you know what or you might just go, oh, I don't know. And you don't have to explain that to them. But when you find this quiet moment on your own, deep dive into that and go, do you know what? I don't believe that anymore, but I'm so used to saying that when somebody asks this question or that question. And Spirit's just given me an example. You know, somebody might be talking to you about your work, and you might go, oh yes, I'm such a workaholic and I don't know when to stop. And then the person might look at you and go, oh, I don't think you're a workaholic. Why do you know, and then you might go, oh, no, maybe not. And you're starting to feel like, oh, why did I say that? I'm not. You know, that's one thing I've brought into balance. My awakening has brought into balance. It's that kind of energy. So things are going to feel a little bit volatile. Things are going to feel like you're going to feel challenged. And it can be like I'm seeing a ring here. I'm seeing a palm, cards, keys, birds, feathers, stars. It's going to be in like any aspect of your life. So for some of you, it can be like a pretty widespread. For others of you, it just might be in certain areas of your life, like romantic partners or jobs, or when you're out and about in the community, or whatever it is. But I'm feeling like this is going to be widespread. This deep diving will enable you to have faith in yourself, because it'll enable you to see how much you've changed and where you've changed, and it will allow you to see how you're still saying and doing things that are no longer in alignment with you. And the more we do that, the more we have faith in ourselves and we trust our decisions. You know, you might find yourself, pole number 3, needing to ask yourself before you make a decision, am I making that out of habit? Why am I making that decision? Because it's easy after an awakening to try to go back to a certain sense of normality. And so we do fall into old habits and old ways of doing things because there's a sense of security in them. There's a sense of familiarity. Oh, I can say it's tongue-tied. You know, they're familiar. Spirit just said to me, don't be afraid to stir the pot. There's a sense here, pole number 3, that when a lot changes, or when we change so much, we're a little bit scared to do anything with it. And we can try to bury it. When Spirit says stir the pot, it's like, don't allow the bottom to stick, you know, to the pot. Don't let it burn. Keep turning things over so that they kind of, you know, all the flavors blend together. There's not the bottom that will be burnt and the top that won't be cooked enough. There's a sense of all the ways that you've changed. That, look into those. That's the deep dive. See to what extent. And bring that up to the surface. Keep bringing up to the surface. Keep looking at it. Keep turning it over and looking at it. Well, so far these 3 readings have been really, really deep, pole number 3, and yours is just no different, like real transformation. And with the tarot, basically Spirit is basically giving more information, just reaffirming the information that I've given. But there will be worry. There will be this sense of, oh my gosh, am I going crazy? What am I doing? Why am I shaking things up? Why do I keep stirring the pot? Why am I doing this to myself? Spirit just said to me, pole number 3, when you feel that way, if you can reassure yourself that the reward will outweigh the work. There is such a blessing in what you're going through. And even though the challenges will still be there in your life, there's a sense that you will worry less. The more we awaken, the more we transform, the more we become aligned. When the challenges come up, they tend to either have us less worried, less disturbed by them, or we more quickly find our feet through them. I feel this 9 of Swords is your past or your present, pole number 3. And it can be that energy as well of going, I don't know what I'm doing. I've got all this new inspiration in me. I've got this new understanding of who I am. And I just don't know how to put that out into the world. There's a lot of doubt and worry here. There's a lot of asking yourself, what am I doing? And Spirit's saying, pole number 3, clarity will come. This Ace of Swords is a gift from the universe that is an idea, it's clarity, it's insight. The swords can be decisions as well. They're about our mind, our intellect, our knowledge, our wisdom. They're about truth and alignment as well. And I feel this Ace of Swords is kind of the clarity of what you'll cut out of your life. And this is aspects of yourself, habits that you'll no longer do. It's those cutting of the cords. And this Ace of Swords brings you on this new journey. It brings an end to what was, and it brings in the new. And for you, pole number 3, it has you reevaluating everything with this 7 of Pentacles. 7 of Pentacles is kind of going, gosh, okay, I've done all this work. I've been on this path. Now, is this what I still really want to do? Like, is this still me? Does this still nurture me? Does this still set me alight? The Pentacles are the tangible world. So this is taking what's in your mind. This is taking how you see things. And looking at the tangible world going, well, what do I think about that? And it's going to have you reevaluating a lot of things, aspects of yourself, aspects of your life. And the 7 of Pentacles really calls us to look at, do we still want this? And I feel for you, pole number 3, this is a real letting go, because I don't often see cutting cords and, you know, like cutting out the past. And I'm not saying throwing away people and, you know, careers and things like that, though some of you might, not throwing them away, of course. But, you know, there might be endings in those areas. But there's a sense here of really understanding what no longer works for you, really understanding what you no longer want in your life. This takes a lot of bravery. This takes a lot of courage to look at your life and go, do you know what? This job doesn't fulfill me anymore. What? You know, that's where we go, what are you doing? You can't just get up and go. You've had promotions and it's good money and you know what you're doing. What are you thinking? But you will have those thoughts, pole number 3. And give yourself time. There is no rushing an awakening. There's no rushing a transformation. It takes the time that it takes. And it challenges us. And you're up for this. You are so up for this. Courage makes the heart bloom, and you are blooming, pole number 3. Wow, I'm going to leave you with those messages, my friends. Love, light and blessings, pole number 3. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, pole number 4. Welcome, my friends. Let's have a look at what messages Spirit has for you this week. So we have the 6 of Wands, we have the Devil, and we have the Page of Swords. Overall, additional messages, we've got meeting your vibrational match. Oh, I love that. And we've got deep love, soul connection. Wow, pole number 4. We've got oneness, and we've got landing. Gosh, beautiful. Gosh, look at these cards. I'm just grabbing the energy, just going to see where Spirit would like me to start. Okay, so interestingly enough, we're going to start with the tarot and we'll come back to the other cards. So you got the 6 of Wands, and the 6 of Wands is success. And it's success after difficulty. And it's moving forward to new things. So it's like there's been difficulty, there's been success in overcoming them, and now you're moving forward to better things, if you want, for want of a better way of explaining it. Now I feel that you're in this success stage. You're feeling good about yourself. I feel this energy of you're feeling aligned is probably the best way to explain it. I feel people are looking up to you, or they're being drawn to you. And if you're looking for love, I really feel that you're going to be noticed. I really feel that, and not because of the way you look or the way you are, it's just this combination. People are just going to be drawn to you. There's this inner light in you. And I'm getting the feeling that the success that you are feeling, maybe your outer world doesn't reflect that yet, pole number 4. So you might say to yourself, I'm feeling really good about myself, but I don't know why, I haven't done anything. You know, you might be feeling, so there's this sense of feeling really good about yourself, but at the same time, you're kind of saying to yourself, well, I don't see why, you haven't done anything great. You know, it's not like you're achieving much. Don't be hard on yourself, pole number 4, because it's all coming. It's almost like you're in that transit period. This 6 of Wands is, this soldier is coming back from the war. So the war signifies a difficult time, a difficult journey, and it signifies the end of the journey. But he's won the war. So he's feeling good about himself. The future that he's walking into is so much brighter because there's no more war. So the challenges you had in your past, you've overcome them. And that's where this success, this good feeling, feeling good about yourself is coming from pole number 4. And your future will be different because those challenges have been overcome. So it's like you're walking into an easier future, into a light-filled future, into a future full of possibilities. So when you look ahead, it's like the hard times are behind you, and everything, all the work that you put into that going through that hard time and learning and growing from it, you're now being guided forward into this new journey, which will have abundance in it. It will have, I don't like to say the word reward, but Spirit is giving me the word reward, and it has a few times already, some that I've said and some that I haven't. But you are being rewarded, and Spirit's saying rewards, it's not like you do the hard work and then here's the reward, but Spirit's just saying you do the work and you're rewarded. We work at our job, we do the work and we get paid for it. We do the work and make a lovely dinner and then we get to enjoy it. So it's always that exchange of energy. Oh, thank you, Spirit. That's beautiful. There's this exchange of energy. And the exchange of energy is generally contrast. They generally contrast each other. You know, one thing takes effort and then something else will benefit us in some way. And then sometimes when we're benefited, then we share that with others, we give back. So there's this give and this take. And I feel that you're coming into a period where there's a lot of benefit in what you've been through. You're going to be able to sit at the table and enjoy that beautiful meal that you spent so much time making. And I feel like, oddly enough, okay, this is going to seem really odd, pole number 4. This 6 of Wands, I see him walking directly into the devil. And don't be alarmed, pole number 4, because it's almost like in this aspect of yourself, in this success, the war's finished. You walk past the devil. The devil no longer stops you in your tracks. Now, Spirit's saying there might be a time where you kind of think, ooh, you may want to backtrack. Some of you may be given the opportunity to get back with an ex. Some of you may be given the opportunity, Spirit's saying to me, to take an easy way out, to go back to something that was comfortable. When you are riding high, this thing has no appeal. And when you're feeling that little bit of anxiousness or little bit of, oh gosh, I don't quite know what to expect with my future and I'm starting to feel a little bit scared or a little bit worried, this will have appeal. So Spirit's saying, pole number 4, when you're looking at making choices, what is the appeal? Is it that longing for comfort or what was? Or is it you're feeling great and you're ready to take chances? Because that's really going to guide you on your journey. And I love it when Spirit gives us like really clear insight as to how we might be feeling and what that's guiding us to. So this devil, I feel for the majority, actually Spirit's just said for all of you, it's a non-event unless you you make choices from that fear-based energy. And that's why you've got the devil here. Now, Spirit just said to me, those of you that might be tempted, so for instance, if you're going back to an ex, or you're going back to some comfort zone, the devil's here to say very quickly, you'll see, oh, I made a mistake. Very quickly. It's not going to hold you like it once did, because you're too aware now, pole number 4, that you can't, you know, when we become aware, people trick us less, but even we can see when we trick ourselves. We know when we're not being truthful to ourselves. And this devil card, I see him as really like this flash of a moment of almost like this recognizing that I no longer want that. And for some of you, you might need to go back to it in order to be able to shut the door on it. And this doesn't have to be people or jobs or things like that. It can be aspects of yourself. But I understand, it helps you understand, you know what, I no longer do that. That's no longer me. I'm not going back to the past. I'm walking into my future. I'm no longer going to be afraid. And I love this Page of Swords, because the swords is our mind, it's our intellect, it's our wisdom, it's our knowledge, it's clarity, it's understanding, it's the truth. It can be our intuition. And I'm really seeing it here like the page is cutting through that cord that ties us with our past, with our habits, with what no longer serves us. And I feel like this knight has already taken its swing, like it's swung, and that's the end of the swing. And the page is all about newness. The Page of Swords has accepted the Ace of Swords, the gift from the universe, and it's going, do you know what, there is so much potential in this. I'm not allowing anything to sway me. I want to see where this takes me. The pages are excitable energy. They're that energy of the young, like I'm up for anything. You know, there's almost this sense with the young of this, I'm invincible. And we all need that every now and again. That, like everything, it can go to the extremes. But with the page, it's like, I'm excited about this. It's like, I'm excited about the future that I'm walking into. I'm going to cut the cords of the past. And I'm taking this. Gosh, I'm going to see where it leads me. I'm not going to be afraid. And this Page of Swords, I feel, is going to be an easier energy than you think to actually embrace pole number 4. And I think that's because of your overall energy. You've got oneness. Your connection to self, to you, to the oneness that is amazing. And this is what I was saying before. You can't trick yourself. You won't be able to lie to yourself, because you see things so clearly. And that when you're making excuses, oh, I'll just do, you'll go, why? No. You know, you won't let yourself fall back into old habits. You might, but you'll see them very quickly and you'll be like, why did I do that? There's this, oh, do you know, I just looked up at my computer and I'm holding the card right above the time of the video. And as I looked up, I saw 13 oneness and the clock was 13:13. So we were 13 minutes in. 13 minutes and 13 seconds in. That's amazing. So have a look at 13, see where you see it come up. Now this oneness, I feel that you feel like you're on this direct path. There's still uncertainty, and there'll still be times of worry, and there will still be times of wanting to go back to a comfort zone. But for the majority of you, and for the majority of your time of this journey, you're just going to feel like you've got a path. You might not know where it's leading you, but you're going to feel direction. You're going to feel guided. And I feel, more importantly, pole number 4, you're going to allow yourself to be guided. Because I feel a spirit saying to me, very importantly, that you won't know the whole path. You can't see your path lined up like this. But there's a knowing in you that there's this feeling in you that you're on this direct path, but you can't see it. And it might actually not make sense to you at all as to why you feel like you're just on this path. And you might actually start finding yourself saying to people, I'm just on a path. When people go, what are you doing? You've changed so much. You're changing everything. You'd just be like, I'm just on this path. And maybe you've already started saying that. And maybe Spirit's giving me that so you know, oh my gosh, this is my reading. There's a connection that you probably can't explain. But there's a connection with your goals and your purpose and your dreams, even if you don't know what they are yet. Because Spirit's telling me, pole number 4, that you'll be guided to dreams and goals, and you'll be guided on the direction to take. And as you keep moving forward, as you continue to be curious and excited about what's coming, excited about where you find yourself right now and the possibilities of your future, that moves you forward. And this can be in so many different aspects, so many different ways. But you're so guided. And I think you know that, pole number 4. You know just how guided you are. And then we've got the other overall energy is landing. And I feel that's what you're doing. You're landing in your place. You're landing in your space. You're landing kind of like, I want to say, in yourself. There's this energy of being grounded, but you've got wings to fly. And for some of you, this is landing, you know, once you let go of your past and you move forward, this is you landing in new environments, in new situations, in new relationships. And I feel like you're spreading your wings. And, you know, this looks part human, part, you know, mystical being, you know, like a... And it's almost like you're tapping into the real you. You're landing in your authenticness. You are who you are, and you can be that in the outer world, or you're learning how to be that in the outer world. Thank you, Spirit. And that takes time. And I feel like you're in the now, but I feel like you've always got like an eye to the future. I feel like, you know, you're standing here, but you've got that projection into the future. And and Spirit is giving me two messages that it wants you to embrace in the now. And one is that don't forget about the now. Bring yourself back to the now, but allow yourself to go out to project out into the future. No, don't wait for the future to be happy, or when I get to my future I'll do this or I'll do that. But at the same time, I just got this astro travel to the future. Now, I'm just kind of feeling aware that some of you might not kind of think, what are you talking about? There's an aspect when we daydream, you know, when we visualize, what are we visualizing? You know, some people believe that our imagination is in our head and the image is just a make-believe in our mind. Other people believe that we actually like astro travel and actually see different places, and our mind then interprets those as best it can to suit the reality that it understands. Some people think that it's us going back to past lives, to past lifetimes, and bringing that back to our now. But there's a sense that both are so important, because you've got the light out here, you've got the light out here. And I feel, and just the way this person is kind of, it's like sitting in the now, poised in the now, but the wings are spread ready to fly. I feel like there's opportunity coming your way, pole number 4, and it comes in the now, but it's almost like expect the unexpected, or expect the dream. Gosh, you know, pile number 4, I don't know if you were drawn to any of the other piles, and each pile was different, but this week's pick a card readings were all of them were really full on. All of them took a lot of explaining. All of them took they were all about transformation. They're all about moving forward. They're all about coming into alignment. I feel with yours, it's probably more out in the world. I feel like the transformation has happened, and now you're taking those steps out into the world. Your outer world is changing to reflect your inner world. And there's this sense of you're one and you're whole and you're ready, pole number 4. And it's almost like keep your feet planted in the now. And like travel in your imagination and your daydreaming to all the possibilities that could be open to you. Because there's a sense here that you've got a direct path to them. You've got the wings to fly to get them. So it's almost like you're exactly where you need to be. You're exactly who you need to be. You're in the right place at the right time. And it's stay open. Stay open and stay aware. There's a word I want to use. I'm just waiting for Spirit to see if it'll bring it to me. It's basically I'm getting the word dream. Spirit just keeps saying to me, pole number 4, dream. Reach for the stars, because you can actually reach them. You know, it's almost like stretch your imagination to the stars, because where you are now, you can actually reach them. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, pole number 4, for being patient. Sometimes I need to pause. And sometimes I feel bad in pausing, because I feel like you're just sort of sitting there waiting, but those pauses really bring information. Now, let's have a look at this energy, but I feel this energy is your connection to others. How you'll be connecting to others. And I feel like there's a lot of new people coming into your life that are probably very different to you, but that you just resonate with, and instant. You know, when we meet those people and we just click with them instantly, that's this. The card says meeting your vibrational match. The affirmation is, I attract, recognize, and celebrate perfectly resonating relationships. And you are, do you know, thank you, Spirit, thank you. In the now, and you dreaming of the future, you're actually pulling that to you. It's like when I was saying reach for the stars, because you can actually reach them. It's like you're not reaching out for the stars, you're looking at the stars and going, this is how I want to feel in my life. This is the kind of relationships I want in my life. This is the kind of energy I want into my life. And you're drawing those stars to you. And it can look very different to how you imagined. So concentrate more on the feeling. If you want new friends, concentrate or put yourself in that space of how it feels to be with them, as opposed to how they look or what you do with them. It's those feelings that anchor things to us. I think you're going to be surprised, and I think you're going to be there's a lot of like color and vibrancy, and so I'm looking at it as like fun, and there's this positive energy. It feels really good. And I'm saying friends, but it can be, because there's love here, but it can be lovers, it can be romantic relationships, it can be deepening of connections, like connections that you've already got with people that deepen and change. It can be jobs, it can be moving to a place that you love, renovating your home, or moving to a home that suits you better. But it feels so good. It feels so aligned. And I'm just getting things like, you're saying things like, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. If somebody said this is where I'd be, I would have laughed and went, on what planet? And I feel it takes no effort. This bridge to the light, I feel like it takes no effort. The effort's already been done. There's so much that you've learnt. There's so much that you're not going back to. There's so many cords that you've cut. That suddenly, it's like, thank you, Spirit. This is a great example. It's like your home. If you have a cluttered home with lots and lots of things in it, it is so much harder to clean, because to vacuum the floor, you've got to move everything. To dust the shelves, you've got to move everything. There's so much more to handle. When we declutter and we make space and we have less things, so much easier to clean. There's less to manage. There's less to handle. And I feel that that's how you're feeling. It's like things are falling into place because there's space for them to fall into. And that's no difference with this final card that says deep love and connections. I welcome healthy and heartful relationships. Look at these affirmations. Actually, I'm going to try and hold them up if you want to take a snapshot. Pole number 4. One says, I attract sorry, let me start again. Sorry, my friends. I attract, recognize, and celebrate perfectly resonating relationships. And the other one is, I welcome healthy and heartful relationships. This is relationships. Deep love, soul connection. Now, pole number 4, if you are looking for romantic love, do you know, the first things that came to me is it's here. And then I quickly wanted to change that to it's coming. But for some of you, it is literally, you may not have met them yet, but it's in the here and now. So it is like on your doorstep. For others of you, you may just have loose ends to tie up. And this is deep love, soul connections. For some of you, the relationships that you have in your life right now are becoming more deep. They're becoming more connected. So not all of you are letting go of everything in your life. Some of you are connecting more deeply with things, but things will have more meaning, or they'll leave your life for new things to come in. I feel like there's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for, Spirit, please? There's a lot of past drama and past trauma, past troubles, past clutter and things like that, that are just, you're just putting all that aside. Life is going to feel more simple. Pole number 4 is probably the best way I can explain what I was just trying to say there. It feels suddenly less drama filled, just less, but not like less fulfilling or anything. If anything, it's more fulfilling because you're not spreading yourself so thin in areas that are of no importance, or with people or situations that don't have a lot of meaning to you. And therefore you're enabling yourself to deepen those connections that really have meaning for you, or to connect and meet new people that really resonate with you. So much stability, not in a controlling way, just so much stability and solidness, and like the energy I felt here, that you're grounded, but you can still dream. It feels really beautiful, pole number 4. It feels really open, and it feels really, there's just real connections here, like soul connections. A beautiful reading, pole number 4, and beautiful energy. I'm going to leave you with those messages, my friends. Love, light, and blessings, pole number 4. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.